It's just not making any sense to me. The one with the rusty bottom sells for the most money because the number on the dash says the least. If I could sell my $2,000 car for $12,000. The other day I was messing around on Bring a Trailer, and if you don't know, that's a auction website. Kind of like Mecum or Barrett Jackson, but a little different. So you have to submit your car to Bring a Trailer. It's not like Marketplace, you can't just list your car. And they have to accept it before it can be auctioned. And I'll just scroll through here, you can see the current auctions. Mostly Porsches, rare cars, but there's a model car collection. I saw a scooter on here. So it's more like a automotive enthusiast type of site. So I don't even know how I found this, but if you do a search for a 2003 GLI, there's 4 results. I don't know how that TDI got mixed up in there. But these are all pretty recent sales from 2022 and 2023. And I was very surprised at the prices. $12,350, $13,500, and the lowest one was $7,000. And that's the most recent one. When I got my car, it had about 120,000 miles on it. So all of these cars are lower miles than mine, but the one that sold for $12,350 has cloth interior and no sunroof. So that's a bit of a trade-off, right? Would you rather lower miles or leather and a sunroof? Definitely want the sunroof, I think. So I think the best thing about the Bring a Trailer auctions is that you can go through and see the comments, and they really make me feel good about my car. Best looking Jetta ever, VR6 and 6-speed. They're great cars. The Mark IV Jetta and Golf are picking up steam in the collector market. Pretty sure these will be the future poor man's Porsche collectibles. So here's the silver one, the same color as my car. This one sold for $7,000. 88,000 miles, so this is going to be the highest mileage one that sold on Bring a Trailer. I don't know if this one, let's see, cloth seats on this one too. Do they all have cloth seats? Wait, do I have the only one that has leather? No, this one has black leather, I think. Yeah. I got excited for a second there, I thought I had something super rare. So, cloth seats on this one. Does it have a sunroof? Can't. It does. Okay. A little bit of accident damage there. A lot of people saying that this one kind of got away at $7,000. Great buy at $7,000. This guy missed the end of the auction. These are always kind of a hidden secret, it seems. The later 1.8 GLI may have stolen the limelight over the VR6 GLIs. I'd agree with that. And the 04s, where they did the BBS wheels and then the body's a little different with the side skirts, it might look a little better on the outside, but you only have a 4-cylinder. This guy says, smooth acceleration, great torque, and pretty close gear ratios makes for super enjoyable rowing of the gears. Yeah, we know about the gear problems. Nicely equipped VW, woo. And we're talking about the one with cloth seats here. Come on, let's not go crazy. And the last one. This might be the nicest one. It's sold for the most money, $13,500, 44,000 miles. The problem with this car, you can see right there, New York plates, and the pictures of underneath, you can see it's starting to rust. So, you know, Mineola, New York, sure you got a 44,000 mile car, but, you know, like I learned with my R32, you can't beat that rust. So the only thing that car has that I wish I had is the black interior, and if I find one being parted out that doesn't have moldy interior, I'll probably try to buy that. It says this one has a stage 2 tune, but you can see right there in the picture, I don't know how good you can see through my camera, but if you look at this picture, the bottom of the engine and the subframe and stuff, it's all starting to rust, and then the aluminum, I guess it wouldn't be rust, it would be the corrosion building up on it. I think the most expensive one might be the worst one, because the California and the Texas car are rust free. When they say you could eat off a car, if we flipped it upside down right now, I'd set my pizza on here and then take it off and eat it. It's not going to be all covered in flaky rust or anything. No rust on the subframe. We're solid. This guy says those wheels in Europe are called Monte Carlos, but here they're called Santa Monicas. And I've seen some people call them different things, but yeah. So with my Mark V R32, I think I had 5 or 6 different sets of wheels on that car. And I guess the nicest and most expensive were the OZ Racing Super Leggers, but my favorites were always the Detroits. If you like the Detroit wheels, then you probably like these wheels. You know, that's just my style. That's a lot of people bidding on a car that has obvious rust in the pictures. So, would you rather have higher miles or rust? And everything on my car that I guess you could consider a wear item for suspension and stuff. All new control arms, inner outer tie rods, so other than rebuilding the motor, what else can you do? This guy says the 1.8 was just not the same and a step back, frankly. The VR6 GLIs seem to be a well-kept secret. So I thought that was a pretty cool find that 3 of them have sold on Bring a Trailer, and they're all selling for way more than I paid for this one. I've always said that this car is rarer than my Mark V R32, but I don't know, nobody really believes me. Because with an R32 you can say they only made 5,000, but I haven't been able to nail down the exact production numbers on a 2003 GLI. And then you could break that down by how many of them have leather and a sunroof. The Mark V R32s seem to be dropping in value, where Mark IV R32s seem to be climbing in value. I was definitely right about this car. Definitely a rare, special edition, 1 year only, 24 valve VR6, 6-speed manual, with the leather and the sunroof. Still just really confused about the New York car. My dogs are going for a run. They hear Piper barking next door. Ever since I found those auction results, I've been walking around like I got a $13,000 car, but you know, the next time it doesn't start, I'll be out here kicking the bumper again like it's a $2,000 piece of junk, so I was just thinking about this car that sold with 44,000 miles in 2023, and I did the math on that. That's driving at 2,200 miles a year. So this car has New York plates, and if you know anything about New York, you're probably going to catch on to what I'm saying here. Do you think they pulled some sort of scam here with the odometer? That seems a little suspicious. That I'd say the worst conditioned car, if you're looking at keeping it long term, like an enthusiast that's spending $13,000 on a Mark IV, wouldn't you want it to be rust free? Did they just get fooled by the mileage? I don't know. I guess if it has a clean Carfax, you could sort of go through that. You know, those New Yorkers, they're way better at scamming than we are, so it's just not making any sense to me. The one with the rusty bottom sells for the most money because the number on the dash says the least. New York and California, I'd stay away from buying cars from there. Even Florida, you're gonna get a lot of flood damage. So what do you guys think? Should I try to sell it on Bring a Trailer? Who am I kidding? My car would never get accepted on Bring a Trailer. We'd have a lot of explaining to do. Stuff like a little paint touch up and, you know, why is that zip tied in there? My dog's been chewing on it again. You know, I'm honest about all the little stuff like the zip tied in grill and stuff like that. But I could also spend $1,000 fixing all that little stuff, and then you would never know. But I'll probably just keep it as like the best car deal ever.